Welcome back to the Line Table. Albuquerque city officials are always looking for ways to give the local economy a boost, certainly. And one of the latest opportunities is a Top Golf Entertainment Center. The City Council is considering offering, get this, $2.6 million in incentives to bring Top Golf to the Metro, but not everyone is on board with these costs. Now, Rachel, at Albuquerque Business First, some great reporting on this. I have to give you guys a lot of credit on this. Well, maybe we should tell folks initially for 20 seconds, what is Top Golf? Like, what people hear this name bandied about.
Right.
You know, what does one do at Top Golf? What is
So
this?
Top Golf it's a indoor-outdoor golf entertainment center. So
Okay.
you go there, they've got microchips on the balls, they track your swing, they show off your swing on a screen.
Cool.
You know, a lot of our readers have encountered it in other cities. They think it's really cool.
Right.
A lot of people are excited for that entertainment option.
Sure.
The question is, what's it worth?
Gotcha.
You know, like they're projecting 350 jobs. That's the number that has been reported. That 2.6 million, if you divide it per job, it's about 7,000, I think, if I did the math right.
I hadn't thought about it that way.
So, you know, there are some really interesting, you know, obviously the City Council is behind it, is pushing it, says we're going to approve this, we just need to work out the details of these incentives.
Right.
And the mayor's office staff is coming back and saying like, whoa guys, this does not have any job creation requirements, clawbacks. So now those things are on the table and it's a question of what's going to happen next.
Isn't that interesting? This idea of this incentives, but there was actually discussion without clawbacks. All of our history here with incentives, you would think we would be bruised, you know, top to bottom and not give anybody anything without a guarantee the money's coming back. Does it make sense to you to give
So I just
something
had
like
to
this?
do the math on that, and
Did
you're
I-
right, it's about $7,500 a person.
Wow.
On that.
That's amazing.
It just seemed like it was low, but you're right. I had to do the math real quick.
Right.
You know, I'm a big fan of Top Golf. My husband loves that place. We've been to Top Golf in Phoenix. Well, they have one in Gilbert. They have one in Scottsdale. We've been to both of those. We've been to the one in Vegas when it first opened. It's
The one in Vegas has a swim-up pool, I think, right?
Yeah, we've got a cabana with a pool,
Yeah.
a huge big screen on the side of a wall. It's a great experience, and it's also, you know, there's also a bar component and food, and so basically it's like a really fun driving range.
Okay.
It's very competitive, and so we've spent some money there at other places.
I see.
So we're big fans, and so I expected my husband to be and he's, you know, I look at him sort of because he's more just the average kind of Joe when it comes to policy issues. And I expected him to be like, we've got to bring it at all costs. And he actually said, no, we need clawbacks. This is crazy. Like, we can't keep having incentives to these companies that have no, you know, they don't have to stay in business. They
Sure.
don't have to maintain jobs. They don't have to hire local. There's a lot of issues there. And so he was in favor of having more scrutiny on the proposal. I do think
Interesting.
that it's a very expensive project. It's something like $40 million. And now we're hearing from Big Shots, which is a different, and I have no familiarity with them at all, but I assume
Right.
it's similar. And they're a different company that feels that they could build it for something like $29 million
That's right.
without incentives. And
That's
so
right.
that's an interesting idea. And
Local ownership as well
right.
for the
It's
other one.
interesting
Yeah, that's
to
right.
know whether they, although, you know, I looked a little bit into the local ownership. I mean, basically they've created an entity here. Top Golf could do the same thing and create an entity here and have local partners, and so
Gotcha.
then you're locally owned.
Gotcha.
But the concept certainly isn't local, and I do think that it's great to try to attract some of these. I think it raises our level of being, you know, more an entertainment friendly kind of environment, and it attracts more like ripple effects in terms of economic development from other you know, conventions coming here, and just people looking at this more of a destination vacation and entertainment hub. And so I'm in favor of it, but I do think it's important. I'm glad that the administration of the mayor's office is taking more time to look at it. The city council is trying to make sure that any kind of incentives have the clawbacks and have
Even our economic
long-term-
development director, Cynthia Jaramillo, she's saying, look, let's slow down here a little bit. Let's see what happens. You know, Sylvia, when you think it costs many millions to build one of these places, as Laura mentioned,
Yeah.
but isn't this what the investment community is for? If you need an extra 2.6
Oh,
million,
like private equity or something
right?
like that.
I mean, it's a privately held company. I get that, and this is what privately held companies do. They try to get money from everywhere they can.
Of course, they're going to want to leverage whatever they can.
That's right.
That's right.
But I say again, this is what the investment community is for. If there is money to be made, why wouldn't you put it out there and say, there's a $2.6 million opportunity here, folks, you know?
Well, we don't know if they did. I mean,
Right,
that's
that's a
a
good
good
point.
question. But part of what we're hearing coming out of the mayor's office is concerned that the city council is skipping over the due diligence
Yes.
that we all have sort of agreed is necessary.
Did you say art? No.
I know. And so I think that pushback is meaningful. They're basically saying, look, we can't cut these corners. We have to take a really clear look
right.
at this.
That's right.
And I think it's worth noting, Topgolf announces on their website they've got about 31 new locations that they're planning on building worldwide. And that's about doubling the number of Topgolf venues. Albuquerque is listed on their website as if it was a done deal.
No kidding.
And so I really wonder in that environment whether it's like, we're going to do it whether we get your 2.6 or not, in which case, I'll keep the 2.6 if that's cool
That's
with
a
you.
good point, right? Dan, interestingly, look, it's the flavor of the month right now, Topgolf. Every Muni wants to have a Topgolf in their city. It's a big deal, like Laura said. The one up in Denver and Centennial is doing great. There's all kinds of things. Their numbers here, they claim they're going to do 450,000 people here in Albuquerque as paying customers.
That's what, like half our population?
Right. These people are
Man,
dreaming.
woman, and child?
Yeah,
No, I don't
exactly.
think they're dreaming at all.
Really?
Yeah.
How is that even
so
possible?
let's say two things. One thing I'll say, I agree 100% with the clawbacks.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got to stop buying business just for the sake of buying business. I doubt $2.6 million is not that much money to someone like Topgolf.
That's right.
I'm sure their business plan and the loans for the building are going to be more than enough time to pay back the 2.6. So they ought to figure out a way to protect the city with that. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Why do I say they're going to be fine? We have been billing this state for 25 years as a golf mecca. We have been billing this state as come here to golf. Believe it or not, when you travel outside of New Mexico and talk to people, especially affluent people with money, they know two things about New Mexico: Santa Fe, golf. Then you kind of get a group that veers off into a third one. It's either hunting or skiing. That's right. And so we're a golf mecca. Albuquerque, we've got a ton of courses, beautiful courses within 30 minutes driving from here. People come here to golf. I fly for work all the time, and I'm constantly walking off the plane, and half the people at the baggage claim are getting golf clubs.
Let me throw this out here. In addition to the 450,000, looking at sort of the big picture for Topgolf, what they report is roughly half of their income comes from corporate sources. So
That's right.
their corporate headquarters, kind of corporate entertaining, that sort of stuff. And one of the things that's been a real challenge for New Mexico in general and Albuquerque in particular is that we have fewer corporate headquarters than other cities. So I think to a certain extent, I'd like to see Topgolf reflecting that kind of nuance, that this might be a different group than they have seen in some of the other cities.
It's bowling.
One
It's
of the other
bowling for
things
golf.
I really want to point out about this is that, people, when they hear the soundbite of 2.6 million, they often think of like a check that the city's writing.
Right.
And that's not the way incentives work. I mean, basically, most incentives that companies get, and by the way, this is certainly not the first one, and there's many developers out there that are looking for other types
That's
of.
right.
If this size project, this ain't that big of an incentive.
Right, it's not that much for how big the project is, but the thing is, it's usually in the form of foregone tax revenue. And so, especially if you're talking about like an industrial revenue bond, it basically means that they get a tax abatement of gross receipts taxes. So they're basically able to build their project and do what they need to do without having to pay gross receipts tax. And then the idea is that as they grow that pie and they have more revenue coming in, they're not owed on the gross receipts side of it, but they still have to pay employment taxes. They still have to pay income taxes. There's other taxes that benefit the city.
Right.
So it isn't like a check that's being written to them.
Yeah, but I think-
a
Good
lot
distinction
of people.
there.
And I think a problem
appreciate
too that we got to look at without glazing over is, so we've got one company, globally known, coming in that wants incentives. We got another company saying I can do the same thing with no incentives. Where I have a problem with what we're doing personally, my the fiscal side of me is, it's not government's job to pick winners and losers, and that's kind of what we're going to do here. Right?
Is that what Ken Sanchez is doing? At
Well,
council? He's very strong on Topgolf.
Well, he's very strong on it.
Yeah.
That's a different topic for a different segment, only because the mayor needs to be careful about constantly going against the people in his party, which he seems to be doing all the time, because that's going to come back to haunt the mayor, I think, before this is over.
Right.
But I think at the end of the day, it's not the city council's job to pick winners and losers. And if this goes down
and
the
this
way it's
company's
going,
not hurting, by the way.
that's right. And if this goes down the way
I've
it's
been to
going
the corporate
down,
website. They're making a couple of
But
bucks
as
out
this,
there.
As this is going down, though, I think that either we need to decide that we need both of these guys, or I don't know why we're going to give an incentive when you got two companies saying I can do it. My opinion would be you tell them, well, you guys go figure out who it's going to be, and if you're both going to do it,
right.
we'll do all we can to help you.
That's right.
I doubt when they built this in Las Vegas, the Top Golf. I doubt the city of Las Vegas gave them a ton of incentives to come
Right.
there. They probably couldn't pay enough to get in Las
But
Vegas.
let me throw this in just a minute ago. I'll finish with Rachel, how we started this segment. If you look at Albuquerque, my opinion is Top Golf looked at Albuquerque and said, you know what the competition is here for our level of spectacle? Zero.
Bowling.
That's it.
It's bowling.
They can own
There's
this
the main
market
event.
for
Main event
years
does
if
right.
they
Which is
want.
bowling.
That's right. That's
not
right.
bowling,
Doc
it's
and
laser
Eddie's, is
tag.
that
That's
what
right.
it's called? Yeah.
But, however, we were talking to the Green Room about this. My feeling is for the first year and a half or so, there's going to be a great sucking sound for entertainment dollars here in Albuquerque. It's going to go all to Top Golf. And this is going to be very impactful in this community. Do you have a sense of that? Are you talking to people out there that are feeling maybe the same thing?
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
We looked a little bit at the demand side of it when both Top Golf and Big Shots Golf said they were going to be coming in here.
Right.
We actually asked a professor at UNM who studies this kind of thing what his sense was of the market. And he wasn't sure this market could sustain a Top Golf. His point was that this Albuquerque is both smaller population-wise and has less purchasing power and less per capita income
El Paso has
than
one.
most of the markets
El Paso
that.
has
El Paso has,
Well,
El
I would
Paso has
ask
Top
the guy
Golf.
if he
But it also
golfs.
has access to the
I would ask him
Ciudad
if he
Juarez
golfs.
market.
Right?
Ask him how many. Because look, it's not just the people who are inclined to golf at all, and,
Right.
and it is a more affluent group that
That's
does
right.
that. But also that we have companies that are looking for places to be able to have a new event, an unusual event, to do more of their whatever they do internally.
And that's going to be
morale
impactful on
kind of
other
stuff.
people who
I
are
don't think
offering
it's
those
gonna be
kind
as
of
bad as you
things,
think, Gene. Look, I'm telling you, Easter weekend, my kids were all home from college. We went to main event. We couldn't get bowling until like 12 o'clock at night. That place was packed
Yeah.
at
There
1
is
o'clock in the
hunger.
morning.
It was David
For
Packed.
entertainment options.
I'm a little bit over time, but I want you to finish your point. What did those folks come up with when they looked at it?
It depending on who you ask, you get a really different answer. You
Yeah.
get those numbers and statistics, right, that we just talked about from
Yeah.
our size and our purchasing power. Then you get just that hunger that you feel from our population for more entertainment options. Albuquerque doesn't have major league sports and some other things that people in larger cities spend their entertainment dollar on. So people here are looking for entertainment. Again, the question is, what's it worth?
I know
That's
two
right.
organizations that drove to El Paso for a company event to go to Top Golf.
Tells the tale. Later, when we come back to the line, we'll talk about how UNM being out of compliance with Title IX will affect the future of several sports programs that are already on the hook due to budget deficits.